All right, you ready to roll?
Yep.
Let's do it. All right, we are back. Episode 8. It's going to be all dedicated to college football week 4. We have our new segment, Shake and Take, to start it off. We're going to get into some dogs that we like this week, and then we have our draft of college football uniforms. We have our breakdown of the big games this week, our cards, our best bet parlay, and then the Pack Boys Promise parlay as always. Douglas, I'm ready. How about you?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it. All right, starting off with Shake and Take. I will ask Douglas all my questions, and then he will ask me all of his. Douglas.
Yep.
If Georgia played Ohio State at a neutral site today, is Georgia more than 17-point favorites?
No.
Okay.
13.5.
I'm taking Georgia in that. Is the
I
Big
probably would too.
Is the Big 12 the worst Power 5 conference?
Yes.
Okay. Good. I would have said yes to that as well. Is the Big 10 West the worst division in the Power 5?
Also, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're confirming some of my theories. That's why. At Ohio State, I think you're going to say yes to this as well, but I don't know. At Ohio State, is C.J. Stroud better than Terrell Pryor?
Ooh. He will have a better pro career than Pryor.
That's what I was going to.
But I don't know if he's better and has the impact that Pryor had on the team.
Pryor was scary.
He was different, man.
He could run the ball. He was a running back playing quarterback. He was a 6'5" running back playing quarterback.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm going to say no, but he will be better as a pro than
I like that answer.
Pryor.
Considering this is a little bit of a homer question, considering no other players on his offense played at the NFL level, is Cam Newton's Heisman season the most impressive college football season ever?
No.
I would love to hear. And is it going to be Burrow at LSU?
It's got to be Burrow, man.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be.
When you have 8 receivers that go to the NFL,
I get it.
Tight end,
no doubt.
Couple offensive linemen. It must be nice,
dude. I get it, but
it must be nice.
It has to be. Just everything that went with it.
Yeah.
There's no way. That is the greatest single
OC
season.
Who's in the NFL now.
Dude, I hate Burrow. I told you this. I'll take Herbert over Burrow. I don't like Burrow.
But you understand the point of the question is Burrow had all the talent.
I get it. Absolutely, I get it. 1,000% I'm taking Burrow.
I understand. The question is most impressive.
Yeah, I'm still taking Burrows, yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying best season. I'm just saying most impressive Heisman run.
Yeah, Burrows.
Okay.
I'll probably take Tebow over Cam as well.
Wow, with all the NFL players he had?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Cam was building castles with mud, and they were top of the line architecture. That's what he was doing.
Okay.
Is college football more entertaining than the NFL? If you had a Sunday slate and a Saturday slate, a whole day, which is more entertaining?
Oh, that's so tough. I'm gonna say. I'll say this. I like college better because then I have the NFL to look forward to the next day. When the NFL's done, I go on that dry spell for a couple of days. So I'm going to take the Saturday slate.
This is one I think we'll both agree on. Is Penn State's fan base a cult?
Oh, yeah. They're pervert weirdos.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Last one. Will Anderson, Bryce Young, and C.J. Stroud. Will all of them be in the top 3 of the NFL draft?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. There will be some O lineman or a receiver that gets moved in there. Or
was that because you don't think a team will take a quarterback, or because
I think teams will pass on quarterbacks? They do it every year, so I'm going to say no.
All right. That was pretty good. That was all my questions.
Okay. My question's to you. Is Alabama going to retake number one at any point this year?
No. No.
Dang, that was fast. I mean,
No, not even a question. Georgia's schedule, though they won't lose a regular season game.
Okay.
They won't. They probably won't even be in a one-score game in the fourth quarter against anybody.
All righty. To who currently right now, if you had to pick, is the Heisman front runner?
Right in this second?
Right this second. I know it's early, so take it lightly, but
it might be Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is Stetson?
It's a name you hear Bryce Young, you hear C.J. Stroud, you hear Caleb Williams. It might be Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
You think Georgia, you think defense. That offense is humming. So maybe Stetson Bennett's the front runner right now.
I like that one. Does Dabo Swinney need to make the college football playoff to save his legacy this year?
No. Clemson loves him.
I know that. No.
That's another.
To us, like, will you look at him different if he doesn't get there this year?
No. I think college football this year, not to get into too deep of an answer, but college football, I think, as this year is a little bit more spread out. Obviously, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State are going to make it. But you look at the next like 4 teams that are there, I think it's deeper than it has been.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, if Michigan gets in, if team like NC State, if NC State beats North Carolina, or if NC State beats Clemson, I wouldn't be shocked. So no, I don't think it is. I don't think it'll be affected country. I mean, he won't be as highly guarded as he was a couple years ago, but no. And plus, he has that job for life. People like you talk about Penn State being a cult. Clemson's a cult. And
it is.
They worship at the church of Dabo Swinney. So
they definitely do. My next question here to you. Is Kansas a top 25 team right now?
If they beat Duke, yeah, why not? Why is Michigan ranked 4th? They played nobody. They've played Hawaii, Colorado State, and UConn. Yep. And they're number 4 in the country. Yep. Ridiculous. So if Kansas gets to 4-0, absolutely. They would have beat West Virginia, Houston, and then a 3-0 Duke team.
I like it. I absolutely like it. Is Notre Dame the biggest letdown so far this year as a team?
Biggest letdown in terms of the college football landscape? Absolutely. There's no one even close to who's been a bigger letdown. As far as me betting, you could look at teams like Colorado State, who I was high on, Fresno State. They just lost Jay Kaner. Personally, it might not be the biggest letdown because I don't really ever bet on Notre Dame anyways. They're a bunch of weirdos that play at 2:30 on NBC, and I always forget to watch them because I'm watching ESPN and Fox. So, no, definitely not. Definitely not for me, but probably in the landscape, yes.
Okay. Is Will Anderson a lock to be the number 1 pick already?
It's tough to say. We're in September. It's tough to say. You don't know who's going to be drafting. If I had to take a guess right now, it'd be the Texans. And if the Texans pass on Will Anderson to take a quarterback, they're dumb.
Okay.
Davis Mills has something in him. He doesn't have the pieces around him to be successful yet. Will Anderson, to me, is the best player in college football, regardless of position. I think they'd be dumb not to.
Okay. And my last question here, not a college football question, off topic. Get ready for this one. If you had to fist fight either a lion or a bear, which one are you giving yourself the best chance of surviving?
Bear.
I agree with that statement. Yeah.
Bear seems like the type. I think if I just gave it a quick jab to the nose, just right on the button.
You think lion, it might startle it a little?
I don't think you can do anything to a lion. When a lion has its locks, that thing will die before it lets you do anything to stop it from killing you.
Yeah.
So I think just the bear's running at you. You just throw you throw all your hopes into one jab, right on the button, and it pushes its nose back up. Its eyes start to water. It runs away. That's your only hope. Okay. If you had to get in a fist fight, I think you have to go with the bear.
I like it.
Let's get into who's got that dog in them. I have 3. I believe you have 2, Doug.
I have 3.
You have 3?
I got 3.
All right. Well, then why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
First one, Wake Forest, first Clemson, baby. Wake Forest is going to win that game. I'm calling that now. I'll give you my picks.
I like it.
Picks. I'll give you my picks later in the week, and I'll see what the line does and everything of that nature. But right now, man, come on. Clemson hasn't played nothing.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. And Wake Forest seems strong.
Yep.
And I'm on Wake Forest. It's a 7-point spread right now, flat 7. They're giving Wake Forest 7. I believe it's in Wake Forest as well.
It is. Yep.
Dude, I mean, what a better way to do it. If it's going to happen, that's going to be it. I got Wake Forest coming out on top. They got that dog in them.
My first team that has that dog in them, Washington State, the Cougars. They've already beat Wisconsin this year. They're 33rd in total defense and 19th in scoring defense. They don't allow many points. This will be the toughest defensive test Oregon has faced since Georgia week 1. Bo Nix is terrible on the road. Give me Washington State. Bo Nix cannot play on the road. The Cougs, they're going to be up for that in Pullman, Washington. Give me the Cougs. And I think they win pretty handy. I think they shut Oregon down. They probably win by like 10 points.
I like it. I almost put that one on here, actually, and I picked a different one for personal reasons, which I'm saving for my last one. My next one, give me Texas Tech versus A&M. Dude, Texas Tech is
Texas Tech versus A&M?
Yeah.
They don't play A&M.
Who do they play?
I don't know, but I know Arkansas plays A&M.
Wait, who does Texas? God damn.
They play Texas? They might play Texas.
They do play Texas. Motherfucker. God damn it. And I fucking have it right here. Yeah, we'll clip that. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, Texas Tech versus Texas.
I was like, when you said Texas A&M, I was like,
yeah, no, I saw the look you made, and I said, I know I fucked this up. I fucking butchered this one again. God damn it. All right, so I'll just pick that back up from the top, I guess.
Go ahead. We will edit that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait to see this. All right. With my second one, I got Texas Tech over Texas. Look, I don't think it's going to happen necessarily, but in-state rivalry, it's always something to look forward to.
Ewers might not be healthy. You never know. If Ewers is healthy, I don't know if anyone beats Texas because they were in there with Bama.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But Texas Tech, if Ewers isn't healthy, especially, I like their chances. If he's healthy, it's probably not going to happen. But it's a little rivalry. There's a little in-state business going on there. You know, some kids, like you said, when they played San Antonio, a lot of them kids probably wanted to go to Texas, not Texas Tech. And guess what? Not that Texas Tech stinks. They're just not Texas. So it's going to be a little personal, but I think they might have that dog in them.
For my second one, James Madison, the newest team to the FBS. They are 7.5-point dogs going to App State. Think about the 2 weeks App State went through.
Yeah.
The second biggest upset in the history of the program at Texas A&M.
Yep.
They come home, and they probably should have lost to Troy. If they would have lost to Troy, this pick would not be on here. But since they won in a miracle finish, this team is up here. This team is up here, and this is coming. At some point, this is coming. I think James Madison is a tough team. They are coming off an off week. They didn't play last week, so they had 2 weeks to prepare for App State. They're going to be on the road, but they're going to be ready. This is JMU's first game in the Sun Belt. They're the new kid on the block in a conference that's already proven that it's legit. They're going to go in there. They're going to be focused, and they're going to be ready to prove themselves. They have 7 starters returning on offense. 4 of them are offensive linemen, so I like experience in these type of games on the offensive line. They also have 3 Power 5 transfers at corner, so I'd expect them to handle Chase Bryce in that passing game as well. James Madison has that dog in them. I don't know if they win outright, but it's going to be another tight game just like it was with Troy. So give me JMU.
I like it. With my last one here, give me Maryland versus Michigan in Michigan. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Let me pull up the betting records real fast for the people.
Hold on here. You just said yourself, who has Michigan played? Hawaii,
I agree.
Colorado State, UConn.
I agree. I just don't think Maryland's
this is the
that
first,
good.
I don't think that they're anything to call home about either, but is Michigan? We don't know yet. We just simply don't
I think
know.
Michigan's defense is real, though.
We have seen crazier things happen than if they went in there and beat them.
Definitely we've seen crazier things. I just don't think
I think Maryland's got that dog in them. Upset alert. Upset alert.
Then I didn't like that one. I don't think you're gonna like this one.
Oh, jeez. Go ahead and say it.
Corvallis, Oregon. The Beavers of Oregon State are hosting number 7 USC.
I knew you were going to pick this
Saturday.
one too. I knew you were going
Oregon State is a heavy run team. If they can just run the ball every possession they have. I wrote this as a note. College teams, they have certain goals every week. Obviously, the number one's going to win the game. I think one of these goals of the week, you got to have 5 minutes every possession if you're Oregon State. You don't have to score necessarily on every drive. You got to keep Caleb Williams off the field. You got to keep that offense off the field. Run the ball. USC ranks 103rd in rush defense. They're not good against the run. They allow over 170 rushing yards per game. Oregon State averages 190 rushing yards per game. USC, this is my best stat, though. USC is number 1 in the country in takeaway margin. They have 10 takeaways and 0 turnovers. They're just due for regression at some point. I expect them to turn the ball over maybe twice. And Oregon State, if they can play solid, sound offensive football, don't turn the ball over, I think they win this thing outright. They're 3-0. That's going to be a pumped-out crowd in Corvallis. Easily the toughest place USC's played yet this year. Give me Oregon State.
Oh.
Now, listen, I get USC offense has looked unstoppable through 3 weeks. What I'm saying is if they can run the ball and maybe go on a crazy 9-minute drive where the USC offense just gets out of rhythm because they haven't been on the field in 12 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I before we started recording earlier, I placed a parlay, I told you, on DraftKings. 4-leg for college slates already. I'm telling you this right now. I won't spill all the beans, but I hammered USC -6.5. I think it's done. It will be done early, and I think it will get ugly it has in every.
We might have to have a side bet on that game because I love Oregon State to cover.
Oh, I know you love Oregon State
do.
at all year. That's a team.
I think it's a tough team. I think they play. They're the team that what they do scares USC the most.
Yeah, I mean, I think
them, and I think a team like Air Force, because they just run the ball and keep the other team off the field. I think they scare the crap out of USC. Oregon State is just going to run the ball. They have that, I don't know his name. They have that middle linebacker that comes and plays running quarterback. I love him too. Get him involved. He's gonna be dog tired at the end of this game. He's gonna be keeled over on the field. Everyone's gonna be shaking hands. He's gonna be laying there dead because he's so tired. Get him involved. Be more physical than USC. They got some LA sissy boys on the O-line and D-line. Bully them up front. Dominate the line of scrimmage. Oregon State, you can do it. You can do it.
They will lose by 14 at least.
Okay.
All
right. Wrapping up the first half of the episode, we're going to do our episodely draft. We did the NFL uniforms. We're going to do college uniforms. This should be interesting. I have a strong number 1. I have a strong belief in number 1. I want to hear what you say. Now, you're taking the program and any uniforms they have in the past. So it can be a lot of different things, a lot of different beliefs. Okay. Douglas, I drafted yesterday in the NFL episode. Douglas, go ahead and kick it off for this draft.
Yeah, number 1, I'm going Oregon. I think I think it's just easy to take that. They have the best unis, the best helmets. It's easy. To me, personally, that's an easy number 1. I will take Oregon with 1 for sure.
They do have eye-popping unis from time to time. They also got some ugly ones.
I agree.
They got some duds in there. I'm looking for consistency.
Let's see it here. Let's see it.
Give me the Golden Domers. Give me Notre Dame. Hate the program. Hate rooting for them. It's beautiful. The golden helmet on the blue jersey is beautiful. I don't really care too much for their whites or greens. The gold helmet with the blue jersey with the gold pants, beautiful as they come. Give me Notre Dame as my number 1 pick.
Number 2 here. Ohio State. I
They
mean,
were my number 2 as well.
come on. What are we
And
doing
really, it's
here?
not the uniform. By the way, I saw they're wearing Black House's uniform, which is going to make me lay so much money with them
Yeah.
to cover West. Those black uniforms. I
Yeah.
feel like every
Dude, they
time
dog every time they're in them. I
I
know.
say, I feel like every time they wear the black uniforms,
Yeah, I'll be
they put
taking
up
them to
50 on
cover.
somebody.
I'll be
Yeah.
taking them to cover as well.
No, but easily the best part about the Ohio State uniform is the Buckeye sticker.
Yeah.
If they didn't have the Buckeye sticker, that uniform goes from like a 9.5 to a 4.
A 6, not a
No, it's a
4.
4.
Okay.
It's bad colors. Red and white, or red and scarlet. Ugh.
No.
Or scarlet and gray, whatever they call them.
Yeah,
Yikes.
don't do that.
My number 3. Give me LSU.
Okay.
I love LSU's helmet. I hate LSU because I'm an Auburn fan, but I love the helmet. I think it's awesome with the tiger, the simple like circular tiger with the 3 block letters. LSU is another team. Don't wear a different uniform. Don't wear a purple jersey. It looks dumb. Wear a white jersey every time. Make the other team wear a colored jersey. Wear your gold helmet with your white shirt with your yellow or gold pants. Wear that every freaking time. They look beautiful. I love LSU at number 2.
No, I like that pick. With my next one, I'm gonna go UCLA. I love the gold helmet. I love the gold that meshes with the blue. Similar-ish to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I like the powder blue color better with the gold than I
Okay.
do theirs. So I'm gonna be taking UCLA here at 3. I've always loved their unis, and basketball included. Their uniforms are probably the best in college basketball, in my opinion. But that is an easy number 3 for me. I'm very happy they made it there.
I don't hate the pick because they did make my top 10, but I think you could have got them in the 5th round. That's all. This is the 3rd round.
Yes.
My 3rd pick will be Texas.
Not a bad pick.
Simple. I love the all white helmet with the Longhorn logo on the side. The burnt orange is beautiful. It complements the white well. Those are uniforms that they look good, whether they're the burnt orange top or the white top with the white pants. Always plays. So give me Texas as my 3rd pick.
It's not a bad pick at all. With my 4th pick here, this one's a little bit.
Let's hear it.
Give me the U. I love the color combination, man. I love it. The green and the orange, it looks sharp, dude. I'm not fond of when they wear their whites. But if they're wearing like the alternates or whatever, I love them. I think that they're sharp looking. The helmets are what need the most work, in my opinion. Got to do something nice and flashier with the helmets. But for 4, I will take the U.
No, definitely one of the most recognizable uniforms and logos in all of college sports. So, but I'll tell you what, I got 14 teams listed here. Not one of them's Miami.
No,
I love the logo. Yeah, I like actually like I think if they did like an alternate helmet with like it's not a duck, it's
the
like
stork. It's a stork.
Yeah. If they did that on the side, I think that would look cool. But no, they didn't make my top 14. At my 4th pick, I got a lot of ways I can go here. This might be a little bit of a homer pick. This might be a little bit playing it up for the audience. Give me Pitt. I love the Pitt colors.
That's not a bad pick.
I love the Pitt colors. I don't care so much for the white jersey. I get you got to have it, but when they wear the old gold helmet with the Pitt script, the blue jersey with the yellow, the gold number, it's classic as it comes. I love it. I love the probably a top 3 color scheme in college sports.
Yeah.
How those colors pop. So give me Pitt at 4. I love that value.
And with my last pick here, and this is probably a more unpopular pick, I'm going San Diego State, dude.
I don't hate it.
It's never fail. It's never
under the radar.
Black and red
It
combo.
is under the radar. Yep.
Never fail. And then to take the what is it, like the tribal, like Aztec,
yep, Aztec
or whatever.
Yep.
And you mesh it into the shoulders and the helmet, and they're really underrated. And then on top of that, you got beautiful trim on the lettering and the numbers, and it's just it is very, very, very underrated, and you need to appreciate it because that's all they got. I mean, they suck at everything else. So
I got a lot of different ways I can go to wrap this thing up, but one sticking out to me. Give me the Seminoles. Give me Florida State. I love the spear on the helmet. It's so unique. How many teams have a spear on their helmet?
Not a
Not
lot.
many. And I think it was this week, or I think it was this week, or it might have been last week. They went to no, it was last week. They went to the all whites. They were all white helmet with a spear, white jersey, white pants. Looked super clean. I love the color scheme, maroon and gold. I just think that's a solid uniform. Love the helmet. They do a little different style on the shoulder too, so I like that as well. So, my 5 are Notre Dame, LSU, Texas, Pitt, and Florida State.
And my 5 in order are Oregon, Ohio State, UCLA, the U, and San Diego State.
Let's see how many I had that. Okay, so I actually took Florida State over my 6th one, which was North Carolina.
I had them on my list.
I think North Carolina, you just can't go wrong with like the what is it, Agrigol or something, like that little cut, like they have it on like their basketball unis too.
The Tar Heel?
Yeah, no, it's like the different like pattern that they have.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Argyle, I think it's called Argyle, not Agrigol. Argyle. I had Oregon. I said Oregon was my 8th. I took Clemson at 9, only because I love the color orange. I don't care for their purple uniforms. I just love the color orange.
See, the purple are the best, I think.
No, orange. Their orange helmet, orange jersey, white pants they always play. I love the color orange. I UCLA at 10. At 11, SMU.
I had SMU on my list as well.
Underrated with the white helmet with the Mustang on the helmet. And then they have the one. I think it's usually a white jersey. They might have it in blue too. Instead of SMU or Mustangs, it just says Dallas, because that's where they play in Dallas.
I did not know that. That probably looks sweet.
It's awesome. 12th, I had Ole Miss.
I also had Ole Miss. Let me write them off the list here.
13, Marshall.
I had Marshall. Those Herd jerseys
when
it
just says
fire.
When it just says the
Herd. They're fire.
And by the way, underrated colors.
Yep, absolutely. Dude, that's the best looking green in
the green,
football.
like the Kelly green and black.
Absolutely,
awesome color combo.
Absolutely.
And my last team is another team I'm taking just because it's a unique color combo, but I think they do good things with like a chrome helmet from Washington, the Huskies.
I like that pick
the purple
as well.
with like they wear like the chrome gold helmet with a purple W. I think it looks sweet. I love the color scheme. I know you said I had a couple of yours. Did you have any?
You just knocked out. So those were all. You knocked out every single one that I didn't pick. Doing your extras.
I figured we'd be pretty close on these.
Yeah, except one. I had Texas Tech in there. I love Texas.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there's a pattern here, though. I like black and red together.
I just think there's so many teams that wear red.
I get it.
I don't know. There's just like Nebraska, Texas Tech, Ohio State. There's so many like recognizable brands that wear black or red and black, and it's just like yikes.
Yeah,
but no, I like those lists. I think we did a pretty good job. I like that we were close on some of the ones that missed too, so that's good.
Dude, I got one more. I didn't even realize. Wyoming. Something about them Browns are. I think they're fire, dude. Them Browns with the yellow.
When they were all Browns, it looked like 11 turds out there running around.
I get it, but the brown with the yellow in Wyoming, the lettering, I think it looks nice. So that's another one I had at the bottom here. I didn't even see it. That was my last one.
I don't like the Wyoming pick, but I like that we were close on some of them. Oregon State's going to beat USC.
I don't think so. I don't think it's even going to be close, man.
Okay.
Look, I know
that's one I'm looking.
You're high on this Oregon State hog, and they are about to get put down like a sick dog.
If I have a good early slate, there could be a responsible bet on Oregon State money line.
I mean, more power to you.
Because it's probably what? I mean, it's 7 points. They're probably like plus 200,
plus 285, maybe.
Yeah. So go ahead, look it up.
Yeah, I'll find it in a second. I already have
DraftKings. And if they win, you heard it here first.
Let's see. Plus 205.
I suppose that Brown plus 200. I love it. Triple your money. So yeah, that was the draft, and we will be right back with the big game previews. I think we actually have 7. We have 7 big game previews to hit. So
Yep.
strap in for that. We're going to break down all the big games. Some of them aren't maybe the biggest games of the week, but there's one on there. I don't know if I've sent you this yet. It's going to be interesting. I'm eager to hear your thoughts. I'll just put it this way: if it was basketball, it would be the biggest game of the basketball season.
Oh, jeez. I can't wait to hear this.
All right. We will be right back after this ad break with the big game previews.
All right, guys, we're here with a little ad break. Anyone in the Washington, PA or Pittsburgh area who needs, a fence put in, if a section of your fence blew out from a storm or something and you need it repaired, please call our friends over at Western PA Fencing. That's 412-618-8014. Trey can confirm on this. I mean, they are the best around. It's just really not that close.
These guys know fencing. They know walls. They've been to the Great Wall of China. They helped tear down the Berlin Wall. They know everything walls. They know everything fencing. They even were they were in the Olympics for fencing. That's how much they know fencing.
Yeah.
These guys are the best at fences, best at fencing. Western PA Fencing, give them a call. Give them that number one more time, Douglas.
That's 412-618-8014.
All right, and we got some big game previews. First, we want to take the time to apologize to you guys. This is coming out on Saturday. Usually, we like to get it out on Friday to get some of those early games. But already we're 3-0 on the college football slate. I'm 2-0 with. I had Coastal Carolina team total over 33.5 and West Virginia -2.5. Douglas also had West Virginia -2.5. Sucks for you guys. Sucks for you that we didn't get those out, but it shows some winning mentality, I guess, to start the weekend off, Douglas.
Absolutely. It's even better for me just to build that confidence because my first week especially was rough. So I needed that.
All right, let's hop into the big game previews. We have 7 of them. We have 7. This is a record. This is a record. So we'll try to get into them and out of them quickly. First game at noon, Clemson. Number 5, Clemson travels to Wake Forest. Over-under is 55.5. Clemson is 7.5-point favorites. I'm going to go ahead and ride with Wake Forest plus 7.5. It worries me that the number's outside of 7. Because usually when they do that, they usually think the other team's going to cover, but people think, just inside a touchdown, I'm good. But sportsbooks will do that to trick you. Listen, Wake's 38th in total defense. Clemson's 63rd in total defense. Clemson has not played a good offense. Clemson's played Georgia Tech, who doesn't have a good offense. They played Furman, who's an FCS team, and they played Louisiana Tech, who's 82nd in total offense. They have not played a good offense yet. Wake's going to be their best test. It's going to be the crowd's going to be up for Wake, and Wake hasn't beaten Clemson since 2008. Wake's they're going to be up for this game. They are due to win it. I'll take Wake plus 7.5.
I'm also going to be taking Wake plus 7.5. I love this spot for them. I'm one of the guys that loves that it's just right outside of that touchdown spot because if Clemson won by a touchdown, I still cover. I don't think Clemson's that good. I haven't seen much of them. They weren't good last year, and they just immediately get put into these high power rankings because of who they were, not who they are now. So I'm not buying them yet. This game will prove a lot to me about their identity and who they are. But right now, I like Wake Forest at home. Give me the plus 7.5 there.
Our next game is the only game of the 7 that doesn't have a ranked team. And I'll tell you what, folks, this isn't basketball season, but we got Duke at Kansas. Kansas Jayhawks are 7.5-point favorites. Over under is 66.5. I'm taking the Jayhawks. They look too freaking good to let down here. Duke, they rank 56 in total defense. They allow 350 yards a game, and they've played 3 pretty bad offenses. They played Temple, Northwestern, and North Carolina A&T, and given up 350 yards. This could be like a 700-yard game for Kansas. Kansas is 83rd in total defense, so they're giving up a decent amount, but not enough to lose the cover. Duke's quarterback is actually pretty good. He's completing 73% of his passes, and he ranks top 20 in QBR in the country. So Duke will be able to score 2, but I like Kansas to cover the 7.5. I like them to score like 50-some points in this game. I'm taking Kansas minus 7.5, but I'm also have a best bet in this game, so I will save that for the best bet parlay.
Well, I'm glad that you're saving that because I'm very excited about our best bets again because we have been just absolutely killing it on both pro and college slates with that. That being said, give me Kansas minus 7.5, dude. They're hot and their offense looks good. They're gonna contend in that Big 12. They're gonna contend. Absolutely. It's not so much that I don't believe in Duke. I think that they're okay. But I think Kansas is just their offense is electric to watch. Like,
oh my goodness,
it's so electric, and scoring points matters. I'm going to take a team that I've watched firsthand twice this year. I've watched 2 games they played, and I got a hard time seeing a lot of teams stop their offense. So give me Kansas to cover 7.5 there as well.
Our next game, number 20 Florida is at number 11 Tennessee. Tennessee, I think right now they're at 11, but we had the line at 10.5. We started talking about this game on Tuesday.
I caught it at 10.5 earlier. Yeah.
I am interested to hear what your thoughts are on this game, Douglas.
I'm taking Tennessee. I don't think Florida's a great team. I know they destroyed me week 1 against Utah, but I don't know how good they are. I mean, I like Anthony Richardson. I think he's talented, but I don't know what else they really got. They're kind of one of those teams where, and I know this is going to end up happening to me. I'm staying away from this game, just FYI. Like, it's not going to be on my card personally, but just for the sake of big game preview, how we always pick, I would take Tennessee minus 10.5. Hooker's real. That kid's real. That team is real. I think that they're talented. I think that they're just all around better than Florida. I think they're better coached than Florida. I like Tennessee here, but if it went the other way, it wouldn't shock me. I'm not going to touch it. So
I will also be taking Tennessee here. Florida ranks 121st out of 131 in passing offense. Their passing offense is terrible. I know you said you liked Anthony Richardson.
Just as an athlete perspective.
Yeah, he's not very good. He's not very good. He has a 53.1 completion percentage. 53.
Yeah, nice.
He's 109th in the country in passing yards with 423. And he has 4 interceptions. You know how many passing touchdowns he has?
I'm scared to hear this. That's nice.
0. Okay. So I don't think they're going to be, especially in a Neyland Stadium that's going to be packed and jumping.
Yeah.
The Vols are 3-0. It's going to be tough for Anthony Richardson to get done what he needs to get done for this team to cover. Tennessee's defense ranks 9th in the country on third down, only allowing 22% conversion rate. Florida's offense ranks 73rd on offensive third down conversion rates. They're not even reaching 40%. And then another stat I like, Tennessee is tied for first in red zone offense, 15 trips, 15 scores, 13 of which have been touchdowns. Florida's defense has allowed 15 red zone trips, and 11 have ended in scores. And that should be worse because Utah turned it over twice inside the 5.
Yeah.
So that number should be a lot worse. But no, I think Tennessee, I think people are getting scared. Like, people are thinking, okay, Florida-Tennessee rival is going to be a tight game. I don't think so. I think that is a bad spot for Florida with the passing offense that they have going right now.
Yep.
Our next game, number 15, Oregon, are 6.5-point favorites at Washington State. Over-under is 57.5. That's a 4:00 game on Fox. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this one?
This line scares me first and foremost. I don't like this line. That being said, I'm taking Washington State getting 6.5. I'm not buying Oregon yet. I know they had a nice little win against BYU. They blew the doors off of. I don't trust Bo Nix. I mean, you know this guy better than I do, obviously. I just don't trust the man to get it done on the road and what I would consider a tough environment to go play. I mean, they're going to be bumping for that game up in Washington State. There's just no doubt about it. So I like Washington State here. I think it's a good value pick. And the thing about it, I've been taking your advice a lot more. When something is pointing you in every direction to take one team, like I should take Oregon here. That's a big reason I'm not. I think that it's a trap of some sort. Vegas knows what they're doing when they make these lines. Give me Washington State getting 6.5.
Yeah, this is a bad spot for Bo next. He has a track record of being terrible on the road. This is a Washington State crowd that's going to be pumped up because their team's unbeaten. It's a Washington State team that went in and beat Wisconsin and Madison. Whether Wisconsin's up or down, it doesn't matter. Wisconsin's a tough place to go in and get a win.
Yep.
So this team will fight. Oregon was able to run the ball for 212 yards against BYU. The Cougars held the Wisconsin offense to 170 rushing yards. Wisconsin's a much better running team than Oregon.
Yeah.
So Oregon will be forced to throw. They'll force the ball into Bo's hands, and he will make mistakes. I saw that firsthand as an Auburn fan. I love Washington State plus 6.5. I think they win the game outright.
I don't hate that either. I'll probably be sprinkling that myself.
Our fifth game, number 10 Arkansas at number 23 Texas A&M. Now it is at Texas A&M. Technically, this game's being played at Jerry World at AT&T Stadium. Over under is 48.5. It's a 7:00 game on ESPN. I'm taking Arkansas all the way. This Texas A&M team has not. I mean, listen, their defense has been consistent. I'll give them that any day of the week. I think this is the best offense they've played. This offense with KJ Jefferson at quarterback, he's so versatile. He's big. He can run the ball. He can throw. They have weapons on the outside. They have a deep stable of running backs. You know their offensive line is going to be good. It's always good, especially under Sam Pittman. It's a neutral site game, so the crowd should be about 50-50 split. Arkansas is number 10 rushing offense in the country. Texas A&M ranks 83rd against the run. And like I said, I've said this before, and I'll say it probably every week I bet on Arkansas. If Arkansas gets the ball inside the 10, KJ Jefferson is just tough to stop. They're going to run quarterback power. He's 6'4", 240 some pounds. He's like Cam Newton. He's going to get yards towards the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be, I think Arkansas probably wins outright. I can't believe they're dogs in this, really. I figured it'd be more of a pick 'em than a spread, but I love Arkansas. So give me the Hogs.
I'm going to take Arkansas plus 2.5 as well.
We're gonna have the same picks, huh?
I know. Their A&M's offense there's no identity to it, and it's really not that good for the recruiting class they got. Their offense is ass. It's terrible. Their defense is stout. I'll give them that. But like you said, this is the best offense that they have played. And Arkansas's defense now is fully healthy. I remember that their corners got hurt. They're back.
Yeah.
And they also, I believe, this could be wrong. I believe I saw something today about it. They lead the FBS in sacks.
Yeah,
Arkansas does.
They do.
Okay, so, and they're going to control the ball, and their quarterback is a freak in nature, dude. I mean, that dude's a freak. I don't know if he's pro player or not, but there's a lot of great college players that never get to go pro, and he's a great college player.
I could see him playing quarterback or maybe tight end in the pros because he's a great athlete.
It works. I mean, Cam Newton had a successful career.
Logan Thomas.
So much anymore. Logan Thomas. Another quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Play styles are similar. So, yeah, give me Arkansas plus 2.5 here. I'm not as high on the A&M train as I was when I saw the recruiting class. They've been a disappointment.
Moving on, game number 6, Wisconsin at your Ohio State Buckeyes. Douglas, Buckeyes 17.5 point favorite. It's a 7:30 game on ABC. Since it's your team, I'll let you go first, but I have a pretty strong take on this game. Let me hear your thoughts before I make it, though.
So, my heart wants me to take Ohio State. My head wants me to take Ohio State. I've done this before, and every time they're not good against the spread. They're not. Ohio State has a track record of just not covering spreads. That being said, I'm taking Ohio State, but I'm doing that out of sheer love, really. I would not be surprised if it's a close game. I don't see any possibility of them losing the game. I really don't. No. Could I see Wisconsin covering? Absolutely. I'm going to take Ohio State, though. I will be betting it as well. It's on my card. We'll get to those later, though. Ohio State's offense is just electric, and I don't think Wisconsin's going to have the firepower to keep up. That's really what it's going to come down to me, is they're just not going to have enough juice to go score for score with Ohio State. Even if they get a lead in the first half, I could see Ohio State coming out second half and just blowing the doors wide open and scoring 3-4 touchdowns, because that's just in their nature. That's what they do. So,
yeah, I have a pretty strong take. I think Ohio State's going to blow this team out. I think it's going to be probably like a 52 to like 17 game. I think it's going to get
love to see that.
Ohio State. My first note: blackout uniforms. They're gonna look. They're gonna look so fast. They're gonna get. It's gonna be scary. Didn't they wear? Speaking of the blackout uniforms, didn't they wear those when they beat Michigan when JT Barrett was short, but they marked them as the first down?
Yes.
Yeah, they just always win in those uniforms. They always
do.
look. They always look so
those,
fast.
Anytime they wear those, can't go against them.
We talked about this before. Wisconsin couldn't beat Washington State at home. They're not winning it in the horseshoe.
Yep.
On a primetime game. Wisconsin gave up 17 points at home against Washington State, who ranks 90th in scoring offense. Ohio State ranks 10th in scoring offense, averaging 47 points per game, and they're first in total offense. This is the best, for my money, the best offense in the land, and they will put up points in this one.
Yep.
Ohio State's last two games were cupcakes, but they were able to get some kinks out. I thought,
I think so too.
They started out with Notre Dame, who played better than people thought. Ohio State had some injuries in that game. They've worked through it. I think over the past 2 weeks, they've kind of let that offense breathe and figure out where they want to go with it. Wisconsin will try to run the ball, but Ohio State has the 26th best rushing defense in the country. So I think they'll be able to slow the running game down enough to where they cover this spread. And if the Buckeyes force Wisconsin to play through Graham Mertz, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah,
Graham Mertz is not a true passing quarterback. He's a game manager, but if he has to throw the ball 30, 40 times, it's going to get bad for Wisconsin.
Yep.
So on to our last game. This is going to get controversial here.
Yes, it is. I knew you put it last for this reason and the time frame. It just worked out perfect.
Number 7 in game number 7. Southern California is 6.5-point favorites heading to Corvallis, Oregon to play the Oregon State Beavers. Over under 70.5. That's a 9:00 game on Pac-12 network. It worries me that they're burying the game on the Pac-12 network. I will say that. The fact that this game's not on Fox or CB or some other big network, the fact that it's on Pac-12 network worries me a little bit because people might think it's going to be a blowout that knows stuff. But give me Oregon State plus 6.5. Okay, and I talked about this earlier this episode when I talked about my who's got that dog in them. USC's number one team in the country in turnover margin. 10 takeaways, 0 turnovers. They're due for some regression in that category. Oregon State has 100. They're averaging 190 rushing yards through 3 games. USC is 103rd in rushing defense. They allow 177 yards per game. Now that's against Rice, Stanford, who's not that good, and Fresno, who doesn't really run the ball. They're allowing 177 yards per game. Oregon State ranks 67th against the pass, so a little bit middle of the pack, but good enough. I think if Oregon State can just run this football, and they have a great offensive line, and they're going against a bad run defense, run the football, churn as much clock as you possibly can, don't have a possession that's under 5 minutes, they win the damn thing outright.
Oh, we've been siding with every one of these pretty much here.
This is going to be.
This is the one.
I'll tell you what,
though. Do not.
Just be ready. I don't know if you're going to have eyes on the game, but
I will be watching.
I was just say, if Oregon State jumps up in this game, you're going to be getting some messages.
I will be taking the line that it is at now is 5.5. I took it at 6.5.
I would obviously at 6.5 as well.
I would obviously take it here at 5.5.
I would take Oregon State at 5.5.
I just think there is entirely too much firepower offensively. Oregon State is good. They're a solid team. I think that they're probably second best team in the pack. I agree. I think that we're going to find out that there are levels to this, though. There are definitely levels to this.
I think that USC run defense is going to find out there's levels to this stuff, and they're going to get bullied.
No, I don't think so.
They're gonna get up in their face and say, "Give me your lunch money." That's what they're going to do to them.
And
the Oregon State offensive line is going to get right in their face.
USC is going to batter them. If the line was 13.5, I would probably take it. I think that they win by 2 scores. Truly, I do. I think that they are that good compared to their contemporaries that they play.
I guess that's a bold take.
I'll take them -5.5 though. Yeah,
This is gonna be, if they can dominate Oregon State at the line of scrimmage, I'll start seriously considering them for the college football playoff. But Oregon State is they're gonna probably rack up. I'm guessing if they do what they should, 270 rushing yards in this game.
They very well could.
Good. But I think doing that and if you keep Caleb Williams off the field for 9 minutes at a time, you can get him out. You can get him out of rhythm.
Yeah,
that's going to be the key to this game. If you go 3 and out at any point, that could be the end of it.
Yeah.
But I love Oregon. I hate this USC run defense. I love the Oregon State rushing offense. So I have them to cover. That'll be interesting watching that one. We're going to hop to our cards. Douglas, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I got 15 plays, I think.
Okay.
Well, 16 including the West Virginia game yesterday because I don't have that in here. My first play, Arkansas +2.5. I really love this. A&M has just been a consistent disappointment, in my opinion, since I told you in our very first college episode that my bold prediction was that they're going to win the SEC or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel good about that take. It looks like shit. I love Arkansas in this game. I think that they are going to win outright. I'm going to probably bet the money line, but I'm taking the points here for the sake of this as well. My next play, Air Force -23.5. It's a bounce back game versus Nevada. Nevada's not good. They're a very terrible team. And Air Force, if they just get back to what they know, get the kinks out, run the ball, they're going to dominate. They are going to destroy Nevada. -23.5 Air Force is a pretty easy one for me. Penn State -27.5 for Central Michigan. This is probably the easiest play of the weekend, I would say. I didn't take it as my best bet just because I hate Penn State and I will never take them. I don't care if it's the lock of the century. They're not getting it from me. That being said, Central Michigan is terrible. They are terrible. They might be a top 10 worst team in college football. They're bad. They're right there in that fringe 10 area. Penn State looks good too. I hate to say it, but they look solid offensively. Defense we know is good. Central Michigan's heading to the pedophile valley as well. And I'd assume it's going to be some type of whiteout. That's just a tough atmosphere for a team like that to go and play a team like Penn State. So I'll take them -27.5. Missouri +7.5 versus Auburn. Look, I don't know how you feel about this. Auburn's offense is bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Missouri's
although they might be going to a quarterback change, which I wouldn't mind, but
at this point, got to try something definitely. But I'm taking the points here just because if you're going to give me that many points and a tight SEC game like that, I'm going to take the points. Usually.
Just while we're talking about college football, if Auburn loses that game, 50-50 shot Harsin's fired.
You think?
I think he gets Herm Edwards
in the end zone.
In the end zone. See ya.
Very interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
By the way, I've been having some thoughts about this. Not to interrupt your card, but
no, you're good.
There's a guy floating around. He was up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
So you'd jump ship quick if he went there. Huh?
I wouldn't say he's not a scumbag, but the recruiting he would get done.
Oh, it would be top tier.
Listen, Auburn would be a scumbag school, and I would have to become a scumbag fan. But that's the life you choose. If you want to be good, you have to be a scumbag. So
absolutely. But yeah, Missouri +7.5 versus Auburn. I like the points there. It's outside of the touchdown too, which makes me feel a little bit better. Next one, Wake Forest +7.5 versus Clemson. We already touched on it. I think Clemson is overrated. I cannot say it enough. Until they show me something, they're not getting any respect from me. They should not be top 5. I don't know if they should be top 10. Who have they played? I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. Who are they playing? Rosedale? Technical colleges.
Clemson has played. Hold on. I have that written down somewhere. Georgia Tech, Furman, and Louisiana Tech.
Okay. That's nice. Furman, huh?
Furman, yeah.
Furman. Like fermented.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. Good for them. That being said, Wake Forest +7.5 in Wake Forest. The crowd's going to be live. It is going to be live.
They're going to be loud.
Pressure is on, and I don't think Clemson's going to prevail from it. So give me Wake Forest there. UCLA minus 21.5 versus Colorado. I think UCLA is a really underrated team. I do. I think that they're so underrated. City of Angels always pulls recruits too. It's LA. They're going to get big time athletes. And Colorado's looked really bad this year.
So bad.
So bad. Just based off those two things alone, I love this. I'd probably take the spread if it was 27.5. I could see him just blowing the doors off of them. Something of the sorts like 44-7. Like I could see it just being absurd. Next play, I have two plays on this game. Notre Dame and North Carolina. Give me the over 55.5. I love the over here. Both of their defenses look like dog water. And North Carolina showed they can score. They absolutely can score. Put up what 63 against Appalachian State.
Drake May's real. That for is he? I don't know if he's a freshman or sophomore, but that dude can freaking sling it.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely going to take the over here. I think that that's entirely too low. They're probably basing it off of Notre Dame not being able to keep pace. Maybe. That being said, give me Notre Dame plus 1.5. I think they win the game outright, but I'm going to take them with the points just in case here. I think that Notre Dame, they're going to get it together. I don't think that they're great. I never have, even when they were in college football playoffs and things of that nature. Always been overrated. They don't play anybody, and then they get there and get dog walked. That being said, I like this coach a lot. I like Freeman. I think he's a good coach. I think he's going to rally his troops and get it done against North Carolina. So give me the over 55.5 and Notre Dame plus 1.5. Next game, Minnesota versus Michigan State. I have a pretty hot take on this, actually.
I want to hear. I didn't want to touch that game, so I'm interested to hear what you
I'm touching it all the way. Absolutely, I want this one. Give me Minnesota -3
on the road.
On the road, dude. Minnesota, I truly think
their defense.
They're going to be in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
they're going to be there. They're
I
the
could
best
see it.
They are the best team in the West, and statistically, defensively, they're the best team in college football. They're number one.
And the way they play might prevent some challenges for Ohio State.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely could. I'm nervous. That is the team I least want to see over Michigan, too. I don't want to see Minnesota. And their running back, I cannot remember his name.
He's
hurt last year. And he's back.
His last name's Ibrahim, but
it is.
It's like Muhammad.
Muhammad. Yep, that is it. He's back, and he's a monster. So they control the clock, control pace, and they got the best defense, number-based in college football. Give me Minnesota here versus Michigan State. I don't know how good Michigan State is. Like, it's tough to judge. Minnesota, I think I'm getting an idea already. They're tough.
Michigan State's just one of those teams where I don't touch them when they're I don't bet against them when they're at home because that's just a place where weird things happen. So
it is absolutely. But yeah, I like Minnesota here. The line is a little scary. I do agree. I think Minnesota goes in there and takes care of business though. Next one, already touched on it. USC -6.5 versus Oregon State. I know you don't like it. I understand. But I'm high on the USC train. Anytime I've taken them, they've hit for me. Whether my bet is lost if I parlayed it or not, I've had green every time I've taken USC this year. So I'm going to just keep riding the hot hand here. I just think there's a little too much offensive firepower.
Didn't they play all their games at home?
I don't know.
No, they were at Stanford, but that's basically a home game.
Yeah. I'm not.
Stanford hardly has any fans anymore.
Yeah. I just think that there's just a little too much firepower offensively for Oregon State to keep up. They will have to control pace and the clock. And if they do that, it'll be interesting. I just don't see them doing it. There's going to be a mistake somewhere. Every team makes them. The pressure is going to be felt, even though you're at home against USC. You're going to feel the pressure. It's different. It's ain't Fresno State. It's not San Diego State. It's not Stanford. I don't think USC is going to feel pressure. So give me USC -6.5. Ole Miss to cover 21.5 versus Tulsa. Jackson Dart and Kiffin are just going to be too much. Jackson Dart looks great. They've covered every game that they've played. And I think Tulsa stinks. They're bad too. They're very bad. They ain't got Zaven Collins at middle backer and that tough defense. They're not gritty.
They got the leading passer in the FBS.
Well, that's because they're down by 48 points every game. They got to throw the whole game. I don't know if they have a rush attempt.
They're 2-1. They're 2-1.
Who'd they play? Avella.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I know I'm pretty sure they're 2-1.
Yeah, they played Avella. Next pick, give me Kentucky -25.5 versus NIU. I'm done doubting Coffee Mayo. He is nice.
Yep.
I'm done. He's hit me twice already. It's now time I reap the benefits from this guy. Put that Hellman's in there and get busy, buddy. Okay. I think they're going to blow the doors off NIU. I really do.
NIU had a big letdown against Vanderbilt. They should have beat Vanderbilt. I think they're going to be down going into that game. I do love Kentucky too.
I love them here.
What's the line on that?
25.5. I love it.
Yeah, I'll probably end up taking it later. I'll have to look at some stuff, but go ahead.
Next, Tulane minus 12.5 versus USM. Tulane just beat Kansas State last week in Kansas State. Like, they're tough.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're gritty. They're tough. If they can go in there and do that, there's no reason I don't see them beating USM and covering with ease. I got the line early. It's probably 14.5 right now. It's probably jumped. I took this line on Tuesday. We are recording now on Friday at 5:51 p.m. So I wouldn't be shocked if it has jumped a little bit. And my last pick here, Temple -9 versus UMass. I'm fading UMass every week from here on out. I think they are. It's them or UConn, but one of those two teams have to be the worst in college football.
Hawaii, I think Hawaii's
up there too.
Next college football show, let's just do a segment. Let's just rank the worst teams.
We could do a draft on the worst teams.
There we go.
That would bingo. Look at that. But yeah, I'm taking Temple here. They're only giving UMass 9 points. I think that's just too easy. And I don't think Temple's anything to call home about.
No.
But UMass literally, like, that's the child you have that you just can't stand. Like, get out of my house. You suck, idiot. That's them. Wow. So I will take Temple -9 here, and that will cap off my card.
All right. Thank you, Douglas. Now on to the real card of the weekend, the one you guys should be following. The picks I already gave out in the big game previews are Wake +7.5, Kansas -7.5, Tennessee -10.5, Washington State +6.5, Arkansas +2.5, Ohio State -17.5, and Oregon State +6.5. I already had my first two bets of the week hit: West Virginia -2.5, and Coastal Carolina team total over 33.5. Starting out with Friday night, this will be too late for you guys, but I am taking Air Force's team total over 34.5. Nevada actually ranks 45th versus the run, but who have they played? New Mexico State, who ranks 111th in rushing offense, Iowa, who ranks 118th in rushing offense, and Texas State, who ranks 114th in rushing offense. They gave up 210 rushing yards and 55 points to FCS Incarnate Wood. I love Air Force to get back on track. They had 5 offensive starters missing from last week. That's the demon of college football. You never know who's going to be out. So I think they bounced back off a dud from last week. I'm also taking Penn State, but I'm taking them in the first half. Penn State doesn't have a great track record of covering against teams that they should. Central Michigan is very good. We already talked about that. They're 1-2, and their only wins coming off Bucknell, an FCS team who's below average in the FCS level. Central Michigan lost to South Alabama at home. South Alabama's good, but they're not Penn State. After beating up on Auburn, I think the Penn State crowd's going to be loud. They're going to be raucous. If that game was at night, I'd love it even more, but I get why it's during the day. My next bet, Miami team total over 39.5. Well, Tennessee State gave up 44 points to JMU in week 1. Miami will be the best offense they've played since then. Middle Tennessee played Colorado State, who ranks 129th in total offense, and Tennessee State, who's 87th in total offense in the FCS. Miami's offense is going to put up a number here. I'm talking 60 burger in this one. They need a bounce back after only scoring 9 points against Texas A&M. Miami, big time. My next game, I'm taking it 3 ways, just like I did last week with Washington State. Give me Western Kentucky. They lost a heartbreaker to Indiana last week. They're going to be up for this one. They're playing Florida International. Florida International is one-on-one in the year. Their only win was a 1-point win over Bryant. And if you haven't heard that name before, you're not alone. Bryant is an FCS school, and they're 0-2. So they're not good either. And FIU won by 1 point. Western Kentucky, first quarter -7.5. Western Kentucky, first half -19.5. Western Kentucky for the game -31. Tops roll big time. I'm talking like a 50-point margin. FIU is really bad. They're 121st in total defense. and 122nd in scoring defense. Hilltoppers will score at will in this one. My next one, James Madison, the Dukes, plus 6.5 at Appalachian State. JMU ranks 7th in scoring offense, 17th in total offense. App State only ranks 72nd in total defense. JMU also has the number 1 total offense. The last time App State played an offense this good, they gave up 63 points to UNC. JMU is a new kid on the Sun Belt block. They're going to want to prove themselves. App State, they're just due for a letdown spot after the last 2 weeks. JMU, they might not win, but they definitely cover. UCLA, first half, minus 12.5 at Colorado. Colorado ranks 119th in total defense and 127th in scoring defense. They just give up points left and right. UCLA ranks 16th in total offense, and they're averaging 22 points in the first half through the first 3 games. The Buffs are 0-3, and that crowd will not be into it in Boulder. That crowd, it's going to be like a half crowd. You're going to see a lot of blue in that crowd, a lot of UCLA blue in that crowd. My next game, Tulsa at Ole Miss. Give me the over. Ole Miss and Tulsa are both tied for the 18th best scoring offenses in the country. They both average 43 points per game. Tulsa allows 31 points per game, which I think Ole Miss will probably hit over that. I think Ole Miss probably scores like 54 in this game, 55, somewhere around there. Tulsa allows 31 points per game, and they've played Jacksonville State, Northern Illinois, who's 90th in total offense, and Wyoming, who's 110th in total offense. They're not very good on defense. Ole Miss's defense is tied for second in scoring defense, only allowing 4.3 points per game, but they haven't played any good offense. They played Georgia Tech, Troy, and Central Arkansas. All are bad offenses. Tulsa will be the best offense Ole Miss has played, and I think Tulsa probably scores like 24 points, but Ole Miss rolls big time anyway. But the over is going to hit easy. My 20th game, ECU minus 16.5 versus Navy. I'm back on your Pirates. Finally, I'm picking the Pirates to do something. ECU ranks 20th in the country versus the run. What does Navy do? They run the ball. But they're the 45th best rushing offense in the country. For a team that runs the ball on every single play, that's very bad. For comparison, the other military academies, Air Force is number 1 in rushing, Army is number 3. So yeah. 45 is not good. This will be Navy's first away game, so it's going to be a little bit different away from home. I love ECU's crowd. For some reason, they always get a big crowd down there. And this might be a little bit of a look-ahead spot for Navy. They play Air Force next week. Those military academy games are like their Super Bowl, so I think they could be looking ahead and not really caring about this ECU game. ECU, another reason I like ECU, they rank 35th in passing offense. Navy ranks 125th versus the pass. So I think is it Ehlers? I can't forget. I always forget his first. It's like Colton. I think it's Colton Ehlers is the quarterback for ECU.
Yep,
big day for him. Like 500 passing yards.
That would be a big day.
TCU minus 2.5. TCU's head coach Sonny Dykes was SMU's head coach last season. He knows SMU better than anybody. There was an ugly divorce there with that coaching. When he left, a lot of SMU people were unhappy. Sonny Dykes was unhappy when he left. It's going to be a revenge game for both sides. I just like TCU more. I think TCU is an underrated team. SMU, they cannot stop the run. They rank 103rd in rushing defense. TCU ranks 19th in rushing offense.
Yep.
SMU can throw the ball. They rank 10th in passing offense, but TCU ranks 40th in pass defense efficiency. Take a little break. Go water.
Got a big card over there, huh?
Oh, yeah. All right. My 22nd play is UT San Antonio, team total over 54.5. UTSA only ranks 46th in total offense, and they're only averaging about 32 points per game. But look at who they played. They played Houston, who's a soon-to-be Power 5 team. They haven't been very good this year, but we got the athletes of a FBS program. They played Army and they played Texas. They're all Power 5 defenses. They play Texas Southern this week, who ranks 83rd in the FCS for scoring defense, and they haven't even played a Power 5 school. So they've gotten beat up. Their defense has gotten beat up by non-Power 5 schools. Give me UTSA. I believe it was North Texas that scored 59 on Texas Southern. My next game, speaking of North Texas, give me the over when they go to Memphis. It's over 66.5. Memphis has the 99th best scoring offense scoring defense in the country. North Texas has the 115th worst scoring defense in the country. Combined, these teams give up 67 points per game. Memphis has the 56th best scoring offense. North Texas has the 73rd best scoring offenses. So middle of the line offenses, if you're talking the whole shebang with the FBS, but I love how bad these defenses are for an over. And my last picks before my best bet parlay, I'm taking one team 4 ways.
Okay.
Last week I had Washington State. They covered all of them. It's time for their neighbor to do the same. I'm taking Washington to cover 4 ways versus Stanford.
I love that pick.
I'm taking them first quarter -3.5. I'm taking them first half -7. I'm taking them for the game -13.5, and I'm taking the team total over 38.5. Washington quietly got to 3-0. They got a little hype last week when they beat Michigan State. I'll give them that. Washington ranks 4th in total offense. They almost are averaging 550 yards per game, and they have the 14th best scoring offense in the country, averaging 45.3 points. The last time Stanford played a team like this, they lost 41-28 to USC. The difference in that with the spread, Washington's defense is much better than USC's. Washington ranks 21st in total defense. USC ranks 82nd in total defense, and Stanford only scored 28 on them. Stanford will be lucky to score 3 times. They will be lucky to score 3 touchdowns in this game. Stanford defense only ranks 69th in the country. Washington's going to light up the scoreboard. It's going to be a rout. Early rout in that one. That's 26 of my plays, and my 27th will be my best bet.
I love that last play a lot. I may tail that. I'll let you know.
Do you want to go with your best bet first, Douglas?
Yeah, I will go with my best bet first. I'm taking Utah -15.5 is what I got it at. I'm actually currently checking to make sure the line did not move. So please give me 1 second here. But yeah, Utah versus Arizona State is still at 15.5. I know it's in Arizona State, but that team's going to be in shambles after what just happened last week.
Or they're going to be up.
I don't think so. I think they're going to be down.
You don't think they're going to get behind an interim head coach?
Dysfunctional. I think they're going to be dysfunctional. I think they're going to be down. I think this is a really good spot at this line. I think Utah's going to go in there and just absolutely beat the hell out of Arizona State badly. I think that this is very
Utah's
easy
burned
money.
You once.
I think this is yes, they have. So I'm going to chase them here with my best bet. I just think this is a really easy spot. I love this game. I know my dad has this in multiple parlays for this weekend as well, but I'll be straighting this and best betting it and parlaying it. I don't see any possible way that Arizona State has a chance to cover at all. And I know 15.5 is not a little bit of points, but they're not good. Herm Edwards is just the beating horse, but they suck. So I will take that as my best bet.
All right. And for my best bet, I am taking the over in the Duke-Kansas game, over 66.5. Duke ranks 56th in total defense. They allow almost 350 yards a game, and that was against Temple, Northwestern, and North Carolina A&T. That's a bad defense. Kansas has to be licking their lips looking at what Duke has done so far. Kansas, they average 453 yards per game. They're currently the 5th best scoring offense in the country, averaging 51 points a game. Would love if they put up that number on Saturday. Kansas is also 83rd in total defense, allowing 28 points per game. Duke is ranked 44th in total offense with 460 yards per game. Their quarterback, Riley Leonard, this dude is something. He has a 73% completion percentage, top 20 in the country in QBR. It might be against some lesser opponents, but that tells me that they're not just, having a kick return or a pick six. This offense can play. This quarterback can play. They can throw the ball. Kansas, listen, they have a great offense, but that defense isn't anything special. It's a middle of the line defense. It's college football. They'll probably give up 28. But I like Kansas to probably put up, a 49-50 spot here.
Yeah.
So,
I love that pick as well.
Give me the over. All right, and we are ready to wrap up episode 8 with the Pack Boys Promise Parlay. We will each take 5 teams on the money line. Each of us are required to have one upset pick, at least one. If we want more, we can take more. But with that being said, Douglas, why don't you give us your first team?
Yeah, I'll be saving my upset for my last pick just for I only have one. My first team is Syracuse. Dude, they're good. Syracuse is a good team.
Yeah, hey, the 3-0.
They looked very impressive against Purdue. I'm all over Syracuse, and I don't think Virginia's good. I don't know why the line's only 9.5. I think it should be a little more. But that being said, just give me Syracuse. I think that that's probably a very easy pick here.
My first team will be Washington. I talked about it with my last. I'm taking them 4 ways. I love them to blow out Stanford. I think Stanford's a very, very average team. Washington, I think, is an underrated team. I think they have an explosion on Saturday night, and they put the entire country on notice.
I love that one. My next one, give me Tulane. Look, I know that this isn't the most popular pick in the world. I completely understand, but Southern Miss, you want to talk about some of the worst teams in college football? That's one of them. It has to be. They're not good. Tulane looked very impressive against Kansas State when Kansas State was at home last week, and they beat them when Kansas State were almost 2 touchdown favorites. I think that they will win this game no matter what happens here.
My next pick is East Carolina. Love their run defense, love their passing offense. I think it goes exactly against what Navy wants to do. East Carolina, bigger, faster, stronger than what Navy has. Give me East Carolina to win.
I'll be taking Temple with my third one against UMass. I already alluded to it, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. UMass is one of the worst teams in college football. Like, actually, they're very bad. They're not a good team. Not that Temple, like I said, is anything great, but they're just head and shoulders better than UMass by default. So give me Temple.
My next pick will be Georgia Southern. They host Ball State. Ball State's a below average MAC team. Georgia Southern's a very good Sun Belt team. They went in and beat Nebraska. They're going to be up for this one. Give me Georgia Southern.
My next one, number 4, give me the Ohio State University against Wisconsin. Obviously, kind of an obvious pick. As I told you, even if they don't cover the spread, I did say they will not lose that game in the shoe to Wisconsin. I don't see a possible way
not
that
in the
happens.
blackout unis.
Even if I pray this doesn't happen, knock on wood. Even if Stroud got hurt, I still don't see them losing.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's nice when every quarterback you recruit's a 5-star.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just no way that they're going to lose. It's just they will win that game. So give me Ohio State here.
My 4th team is Western Kentucky. FIU is terrible. They're a little league team. They're a Pee Wee Pop Warner football team. Western Kentucky rolls big time.
And my upset of this, the one and only that I picked, give me Wake Forest over Clemson. Clemson is overrated. Dabo is overrated. You don't have Deshaun Watson to bail you out. You don't have Trevor Lawrence to bail you out. You don't have these great stellar guys. You don't have that guy that, the quote, he is him. They don't have him.
No.
They don't have that guy. They're not the same team. This isn't the same team it was when they were contending. The demise of Clemson is coming. Just wait on it. Wake Forest taking the W in Wake Forest with that hyped crowd.
My upset pick, I think this team probably wins pretty easily because the quarterback sucks on the road. Give me Washington State. Bo Nix cannot play on the road. If the crowd's loud, if he's forced to throw the ball 35, 40 times, Oregon will lose by a lot. Well, I love Washington State's defense. I believe they're tied for second in the country in sacks. So Washington State, they get to Bo. Bo feels the pressure, turns the ball over a bunch. Washington State wins. And that wraps up our Pack Boys Promise Parlay. That is plus 3,368 on FanDuel. A $10 bet nets you just below $340. Bet it. It hasn't hit yet, but it's due.
Yep.
That's what happens when bets don't hit. They're due.
Cover yourself how I'm going to do. Round robin it.
Yep.
Throw in a little round robin. Do 6 by whatever, 7 by whatever, 8 by whatever. Just in case something happens and one of them misses, so you're not all bummed out. You still get something back. But this one's going to hit. I got a good feeling about it.
All right. thank you guys for watching. We will be back on Sunday, well, Monday, but we'll be recording our thoughts Sunday morning for this weekend of college football. Thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, send this to the people. Share, shout us out on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, anything. We appreciate you guys watching so much.
Thank you guys.